be consistent, and be on video. You can do that, you can like crush probably half of your competition.
Learning from your mistakes is the most important thing.
True definition of fear is false evidence appearing real.
To make sure that I become that person.
I could be the start of your doors opening. You can't go wrong.
Simplify it.
It's pivoting.
How to get that number right.
That's my inspiration.
We just kept going.
It's just different.
I really feel like it's a God idea.
Man, you want to buy the right one.
We all really have more money than you think.
Keep it direct to you paying the most.
And to look yourself in the mirror.
And push yourself forward.
You still have the opportunity.
The biggest thing that's going to hold investors back is mindset.
First of all, it's demand. That's like what I'm looking for.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. I got another guest that's actually coming back from his initial interview with two other amazing doctors, but I got him on the show. But before we get into it, you know my cadence and what I got to do, run through that bio. So to start off, for the last 30 years, he has interviewed over 3,000 thought leaders, change agents, scholars, and experts in the fields of psychology, personal growth, and spiritual development. He is renowned for his groundbreaking contributions to the digital divide, artificial intelligence, Black trauma, and Black mental health, particularly as the visionary GPT developer behind BlackTraumaGPT.com, the first and currently only culturally specific GPT dedicated to addressing Black trauma and mental health concerns. As a distinguished research scientist in Africana Phenomenology, residing in Sacramento, California, Dr. Matthews embodies a unique synthesis of metaphysical wisdom and empirical scholarship. A trauma-informed metaphysical minister, he is internationally recognized for his powerful assertion, "Nothing is wrong with Black people, something happened to Black people." His thought leadership extends into the realm of creative expression, exemplified by his featured EP, "Nothing is Wrong with Black People, Something Happened to Black People," performed by the Metaphysical Morpheus, available on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. He has earned his doctorate in metaphysical science and philosophy from the esteemed University of Metaphysics, Sedona. He is the founding minister of the First Frequency of Oneness, Science, Manifestation, and Prosperity, a metaphysical ministry and digital learning community accessible at shockmetaphysics.com. His work integrates spiritual and psychological principles to address historical and generational trauma in Black communities. The acronym SHOCK encapsulates his research philosophy: seeking higher, omnipotent consciousness, cosmic knowledge. This methodology anchors his exploration of consciousness, metaphysics, Africana philosophy, and their intersections with trauma-informed care. A prolific scholar and author, he has written over 30 books, special reports, and academic papers, many of which are featured on academia.edu. His intellectual contributions span the domains of Black mental health, Africana phenomenology, and metaphysical science, positioning him as a thought leader committed to healing and empowering Black communities globally. Ladies and gentlemen, I got him back here today, Reverend Dr. Philippe SHOCK Matthews. Good brother. How you doing today?
What's going on, Danielle? Man, I'm so glad BlackGPT wrote that. I mean, that sounded great. I was like, who is this dude talking about right now?
I turn around just
I had to look around. Yeah, I said, where is this cat? Man, I want to meet him. What the heck?
Like, I heard some things about him. I heard it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I only knew he was bald and had a messed up beard. But other than that, that's all I knew about the dude, you know? Okay, all right.
That's all they told me.
That's it. That's all. What's going on, beloved man? You're looking good, man. You've been doing great.
Listen, I'm trying. Zoom got this new feature where it makes Black people look more professional. So I just follow suit. That's that technology.
That's right. Absolutely.
But tell me about BlackTraumaGPT. For those that don't know, I mean, it is the first of its kind. I hope you understand the importance. I know you understand the importance, but folks listening, you have created the first of its kind. You know,
yes,
there's Black support out there. There is, family members, the good kind, that folks can lean on to. And they do have, I think, Green Health, or I forget the YouTube ads where you can sign up for a counselor, what have you. But I've always said it, even just as, natural science, you want to skip past that language when you're dealing with a doctor that's maybe not male, maybe not African American, and there's usually this research. There's no jump to the point. I already know what you're going through. I can
Absolutely.
what's going on, and you're doing that with Black Trauma GPT. So please, give us some insight. I definitely want to have a great discussion with you as we talk further about it.
I appreciate that, man. Well, the bottom line is AI wasn't developed for us. And there's an implicit inherent bias in all AI systems because the people who create AI don't look like us. And the people who create AI don't understand and honestly don't care about Black trauma. So I wanted to create an all-Black, non-biased GPT that clinicians and clients or individuals can use that is culturally specific to their needs, and to begin a mental health conversation and understanding the difference between stress and trauma. You and I, being Black men, we experience trauma, microaggressions on a daily basis, so much so everybody looks at what we go through as Black people, particularly as Black men, as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's not something that we're birthed into trauma, but we don't know that. So we just say those are the cards that we've been dealt with, and that's not true. And it's more than stress. It's more than post PTSD or post traumatic stress disorder, because it's not post, it's systemic. It's a syndrome. It's ongoing. So I decided to go in and, like you said in my introduction, I've interviewed over 3,000 thought leaders over the last 30 years. So what I wanted to do is take every interview, Black thought leader, psychologist, psychiatrist, personal growth, spiritual development people, various different thought leaders, and put it into a GPT so you could have a conversation with your own people to understand what is ancestral trauma. That's something that regular, if you will, AI or GPT doesn't address as it relates to us. You used a term or read a term in my bio called Africana Phenomenology. So the reason that I'm in that space is a space of philosophy, as my doctorate is in, but my research gap is in that Africana phenomenology. Phenomenology is the lived experience of a group, right? So it's our personal story. It's a lived personal experience. Now, going back to Come Forward, which we know as Sankofa, back in the 1800s, a guy named Hegel said that Africans have no place in consciousness. We have no place in the world. We have no contribution whatsoever. That, what he said, informed all of the medical communities, all of the psychological communities. So the APA, basically, I think they came out in 2021 with an apology saying we apologize for contributing to systemic racism. So when you go to a therapist, your therapist is trained from a European model that has nothing to do with us and being able to solve Black problems. So BlackTraumaGPT.com is that source, is that solution.
I love that. I love that. And tell me, when somebody's going to the site, what should they be experiencing? And I'm talking to the one who's maybe heard from their coworkers, maybe heard from their family and friends saying like, yo, man, you really need to talk to somebody about what you got going through. And the ones that have already talked to everybody and somebody's just not getting it. Sure. As a Black man, when they go to Black Trauma GPT, what should they be expecting? What should they be relieved from once they do go to the site?
Well, when you go to BlackTraumaGPT.com, one of the things that you're going to experience and have is it's going to speak to you as if it knows you, because it's going to speak to you in your language, in your voice, in your tone. and it's going to speak to your individual needs. It's the phenomenology of us. We're a different breed because of what we have historically gone and grown through. And as a result, we have a skepticism for anything medical, anything psychological, because we know the stories. We've got the history. We've seen what you've done to us. Nothing's wrong with us. Something has been done to us, and it's still happening. So to be able to go and deal with, hey, man, I really don't want to talk to anybody about this because, to be honest with you, Danielle, I don't trust anybody. I don't feel comfortable talking about something that, you know, the youth uses a term called "I'm in my feelings" or "I feel some kind of way." When you hear that term, that's trauma. When it's something that you can't explain, there's a term in trauma that says if it's hysterical, it's historical. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to have you have a conversation with this GPT to be able to heal for the very first time. Now, another aspect of our phenomenology, beloved, is what I refer to as therapy desert. So let's say Danielle does want to speak with a therapist or a mentor, or just have a conversation about your Black mental health. Well, where do you go if you're in an area that doesn't have that doesn't have a therapist that is what we call also culturally specific? Cultural specificity is radically important in our trauma healing and in our mental health as a result of understanding if you're male, a Black male, you want a Black male therapist. If you're LGBTQ, you want someone that is in that industry. If you are female, you want a Black female therapist, because they're going to understand your unique phenomenology. Absolutely. That is something that is very difficult to do, even if you're in a situation where there's a plethora of therapists. You still might not find that therapist that can speak to you. But what's great about this GPT also, let's say you're in, Anchorage, or Alaska, right? Or you're in Utah, where they manufacture white people, right? And so there's no place, there's no safe place for me to go to. You can actually go to BlackTraumaGPT.com and ask, is there a therapist, a Black male therapist that specializes in Black trauma in my area? So it will actually search for you and find you in closest proximity with addresses and phone numbers and everything of where you can find a qualified therapist. But it doesn't end there. What happens after you begin engaging, and I've had some really great feedback from therapists and other PhDs in psychology that basically say, I use this every day. I use it every day with my clients. And because it's trauma based, it digs deeper than just the in the psychological field. There's a concept known as CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a European therapeutic model that all psychologists must know and must do and must have and must follow. But there are things that when I have conversations over the years, over the decades with, psychologists who've been in the game 20, 30 years, they say, hey, man, CBT is not really for us. We're dealing with trauma, and trauma is different than just something cognitive. Trauma is stored in the body. Cognitive is stored in the mind. And so it's like going to your therapist and getting a Band-Aid put on an open wound every week. And that is another reason why traditional, until we have more culturally specific therapists, which I'm rooting for and vying for. Until we have that, the GPT is a great filler for that. Not a replacement, but a filler or an augmentation for that.
And I appreciate you, explaining that further, because with all the technology, I'm in charge of building this internship program, if you will. And I had a conversation with Bowie State University, great few folks over there. And I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm old school. I love that face-to-face interaction. So there's opportunities where I could talk to the students face-to-face, and they're like, listen, Dan, it's not so much old school. That's actually what our students prefer. In the world of technology, in the world of AI, with ChatGPT, all the others that are out there, you still need that face-to-face interaction. So I'm glad that
Absolutely.
this, that stepping stone towards that. The one thing I want to expand upon is that Black trauma. I know you talked about, it being history, it being part of the body. For those that are, just coming to the site, they're like, well, life is good for them. Life isn't any issues. They feel like they got a good balance. They're just looking to exceed higher in life, whether it be professionally or whether it be personally. But let's say they just don't have that Black trauma. Let's say they just don't have the trauma in life. What are they getting out of it when they do come to the site?
Absolute. Excellent question. So when you go to BlackTraumaGPT.com, you can have a conversation about your goals. You can have a conversation about, I am here. This is where I'm at. This is where I would like to go. There's a quote that the famous motivational speaker Les Brown told me 30 years ago. He said, in order to acquire something that you've never had, you must become someone that you've never been. And that requires a great deal of research to find out, who am I? Let me do an assessment of myself right now. What are my core competencies? What are my skill sets? And then how is my unique gifts, my unique education, my unique way of manifesting or putting out my gifts, how can that serve a community? You might not know how to serve a community because you never thought of yourself that way. The conversation that you'll have with the GPT, it will give you a plethora of once you put in what's called prompting, once you put in what you're good at. Hey, BlackTraumaGPT.com. I am 30 years old. I'm single. I'm good at sports, basketball particularly, but I really have a gift for the arts and performing. And what do you think I should focus on? And I would like to see if I could create a 6-figure or 7-figure income stream with my unique gifts, and it will give you that answer. And then also, if you don't have enough, or there's certain things within your particular gift and uniqueness and phenomenology, it will actually tell you what else you need to do. And that's something that we don't have, right? We don't have somebody to sit down and tell us, okay, I want to do this. I want to go, maybe I want to go back to school. You're going to school for law. I want to go back and get my law degree. What's missing? What do I need to look for? What's the landscape for this type of law? Because there's various different types. That is something that even your therapist might not be able to offer you, right? Something that's direct. And what's beautiful about it, brother, it's immediate. It's on your phone. It's free. So it's not something that you have to sit up and worry about and say, well, I've got a limited time you only got 3 days before the link expires. No. It will have a conversation with you. It will contain that conversation, and it will begin to remember your conversation. As a result, it will know how to answer you and know how to guide you. For instance, okay, so I've accomplished a lot in 60 years. I'll be 60 this year. And so I can go into, and I have gone into my GPT and say, okay, based upon my profile and what do I do? What are some of the industries that I might be, a good match for? So it will actually help you find your job. If you want a job base, it will help you find your career. It will help you augment your career. If I'm having difficulties at work, so-and-so said something I didn't like. It will help you and give you language of how to deal with that. Somebody's gaslighting you. It will give you the language to be able to counter that. If somebody is minimizing and marginalizing you, making you feel small. And this is also not just in the white world. You know how we do each other as well. Black people are, I call it black on black trauma. Come on, let's talk about it. So some of us are our own worst enemy, and we have so much self-hate, we hate everybody. So you will be able to have a conversation to know how to defend yourself, protect yourself, self-care. I tell everybody this, self-care must be selfish, because if you go down, everything goes down. And so you have to be selfish and love yourself enough to say, I'm going to have a conversation and I'm going to learn the language again, becoming something that I've never been. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this app to be able to move myself forward. I
love that. Love that. And the key about self-care is selfish. It's
absolutely.
Dumb. And I'm going to say it right now. It is dumb for you all who are listening, who are watching right now, to think that you need to care about what somebody else's think, what their thought process is as it relates to your own self-care. Because when you're looking to reward yourself, you shouldn't be asking Google. You shouldn't be asking your spouse, your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, even your kids or your parents, what would make you happy with the reward. Like, hey, if I go to the gym 5 days this week, how should I reward myself? Oh, treat yourself to a snack, treat yourself to a meal. You have to figure that out. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just the fact that you did 5 days working out is your reward. So it's crucial that when you see self-care and you see opportunities to build, such as going to BlackTraumaGPT.com, and you see the rewards that are coming out and how you can explore that, see if it speaks to you. I hate when people come across and say like, oh man, I heard that you should, go get a massage if you have a really good week. Is that what you want to do? Is it because that's the European model? Is it because that's the typical norm that you see on social media? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to explore? So I can't emphasize enough in regards to self-care. You talked on a big key point that Black folks love. I think everybody loves free. With BlackTraumaGPT, you mentioned it being free compared to some of the other AI, that you go through, put in prompts in and such. They'll cut you off after a day, or because you put too much into it, so on and so forth. They'll say like, hey, you got to sign up, or you got to wait 24 hours to reset, or they put you on a weekly trial. With BlackTraumaGPT, is it all the way free, or is there any limitations to it at all?
So far, it is all the way free. Now, what's happening, of course, is everybody's coming to me wanting to invest because this is the GPT world is kind of like what the .com world was like back in the day. If you build it, they will come. Because Black mental health is a booming business. Mental health in this, particularly in this country, but around the world, is a booming business. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something that I could give away for free, because there was a time when I was told, hey, you probably need to sit down and talk with somebody. Well, yeah, but I don't have any money to talk to anybody. I don't have the transportation to go and meet with somebody every week. And so the free part of the GPT is very important, because the majority of the people who need Black mental health, can't afford it. And when I say can't afford it, I'm not just speaking financially. We go back to that cultural specificity of there's nobody in my zip code that has this information. Due to the type of work that I do, I might not want anybody to know that I'm having mental health issues. And so the beauty of it is the privacy, that I can do this on my phone while I'm on the train or while I'm sitting at a coffee shop, and nobody is in my business. Black people, we don't like people in our business. So exactly, right? So privacy was huge, and being very personal was huge, because those are things that cost as well. Taraji P. Henson was on the Breakfast Club recently, and she said something that was so prophetic. and it's true. She says it's very expensive to be poor. It's very expensive to be poor. And let's be clear, we're in a situation right now where if you have quote unquote a black job, you don't want your employer necessarily to know that you're having mental health issues or that you're even contemplating or thinking about. It could completely derail and put you even in more trauma. I work with military and law enforcement and Secret Service and DEA. They can't talk to anyone because once you go behind that wall of the blue or the military, you can't let anybody know that you're having mental health challenges because it would put your it'll put not only your life in danger, it could put your family's life in danger. So again, where can I go and have an honest, private conversation, ongoing, with an artificial intelligence that was programmed specifically for me and for my needs?
I love that. I love that. Thank you, King. Thank you.
Ashe.
We have that fear, you know, black men don't want to speak on it because I'm in a few black men's locker room on Facebook and a couple of not so much black trauma, but black healing amongst us. And it's hard to talk about, you know, it's not something that it's like, hey, I got issues over here. I can't wait to share it with you. You know, even me, I'll be looking and I'm like, do I want to share that? Do I feel like sharing that? Or a day goes by and as the panic attacks, anxiety, depression comes about that, you know, oh, woe is me to the world, black men go through it too. And, you know, it's not something that we can just say like, we have to toughen up. It's not, we were either taught we needed to toughen up and show no emotion, or we're already in that position of being that father figure, being that husband, being that caretaker of the household, that partner. And it's like, there's no time out for this. You know, I can't take away, and I don't have a place that I could go to. So I think it's essential that what you're doing is extremely important. I hope that folks take full advantage of it. As we're continuing on, you know, you mentioned investors and continuing to build. For those that do want to get in contact with you, not so much in regards to more so, well, of course, learning about BlackTraumaGPT, but helping support, you know, as far as helping build, how can one get in contact with you?
Well, they could just go to I'll give you my email address, revshock@gmail.com. That's really simple, REVSHOCK at gmail.com. Let yourself be known to me and what your intentions are, and then we can start to have a conversation. You know, this is interesting time, Danielle, because we always talk about generational wealth. Well, the next level of generational wealth is in AI. And if you are not making money in AI, you are going to be completely and totally left behind. There has never been a time that is of a technology that's called disruptive technology. I love disruption. I love disruption, disruptive technology, because there's a pro and a con to both of them. There's a good and a bad to all of it. Some people are going to lose jobs. Some people are going to lose income. But then there's another flip side where they're going to be, you're going to see the first millionaires, multimillionaires, and possibly billionaires that we now, because we are, and I am, and a group of us are actively programming AI to recognize a Black voice and Black phenomenology. You're going to have a situation where it will be easier than ever before to figure out how to get out and how to move ourselves forward. But more importantly, it's about understanding that with AI, if you are really, really serious about not just your future, but your children's future and your family, everybody needs to get on board and get on this train. But there's not a lot of Black representation in AI, and one of my research gaps is the digital divide. Right. So I was doing that when I launched my first .com back in 1998. There was a digital divide. People couldn't get access to the internet. People couldn't get access to websites. People couldn't get access to email. There was a time where you had to be invited to get a Gmail account. You couldn't even get a Gmail account. All of these things they do to minimize and marginalize us, and to keep a certain the population in survival mode. You remember there was a time when when the iPhone came out. Well, you couldn't get an iPhone unless you had AT&T or Verizon. That means you had to have a certain level of credit. So that cut out a certain population, because it's like, oh, I want an iPhone, but I have to now sign a contract with. Okay, let's kill all of that noise. BlackTraumaGPT.com. Go in there and have this conversation and figure your life out, right? Ask the deep questions. It doesn't even have to be about trauma, but everything is surrounded by that trauma. That's the backdrop, so that everything that it's going to tell you to do is going to be the undergirth of that is going to be about self-care and loving yourself and loving your Blackness and supporting your Blackness.
Yeah, and the end part is what's key, loving yourself, because I get caught up in it. It's a review of the blessings of the day, seeing what I currently have, remembering what I didn't have. But it comes down to loving yourself. It really comes down to that self-reflection, using the word self again, and saying, like, I am enough, and
Absolutely.
I can continue on. I can continue on this pathway. I can stay the plane no matter what's currently going on. Even a year from now, when we're looking back at this, it's going to be the same thing all over again. Well, based on in the news, based on the real estate industry, based on stock market, so on and so forth. And yet, as a Black male, we're still going to have, trying to find, we may have had a great year, this point on for the next 365 days, absolutely fantastic. But then there might be that dark, cloudy day. It could be bright outside, it could be beautiful and sunny, but it might be that dark, cloudy day. And we need that resource to go to, BlackTraumaGPT, in order to continue forward. But before any of you all go on this site, love yourself first, and
Absolutely.
I love myself. 3 words.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that. As we're continuing to wrap up here, I as you know, the podcast is focused on business owner, entrepreneurs, those that are looking to get started. Any advice for those who are struggling with beginning their business? I know that you are perfect, going on 60, looking like you're 40, brother.
That's the filter on Zoom. That's what that is.
Okay. But
I'm just playing.
when you do have your days, Dr. Matthews, and it's like, dang, how do I push through? What's your motivation? What's your secret, if you will, that keeps you going? That it's like, hey, I need to tell another Black male about this. What keeps you engraved in your journey and in your why?
Thank you for that question. I've been doing this a long time, and it's kind of like, I don't think there's anything more gratifying than when I get an unsolicited email from someone who or a comment on one of my socials saying, hey man, I use this thing, BlackTraumaGPT.com, and I'm hooked. It's changed my life. Or the content that you put out, brother, in the last 30 years has carried me through. There's a saying we talk about in our trauma work called epigenetics. Epi meaning above, genetics meaning below. That our lived experiences, past and present, create epigenetic tags, causing us to behave a particular way. And it's completely unconscious to us. We don't know why is it when I go into a all-white establishment or room, all of a sudden I start smiling. I start cracking jokes. Why do I do that unconsciously? That's epigenetics. We're pre-programmed to be docile and to, in a sense, almost minimize and play small in the world that we live in. Well, those days are gone because now you have a tool to be able to show you exactly nothing's wrong with you. This is what's happening to you. Why do I do this, Doc? Well, the reason why is not your fault. Think about the concept that I just gave you when you read the bio. Nothing's wrong with Black people. Something happened to Black people, and particularly Black men. If I can take your shame and your blame away, and I can categorically, systematically show you what has been done, how policy has punished you, how European policy, American policy has punished you as a Black boy to a man, you will be able to see, you'll start to see things in patterns. You'll start to see cause of the effects as opposed to another effect with another effect. You'll begin to become free and say, oh my goodness. And this is what happens when people call me up. What gives me the joy and keeps me going is the testimonials. I've got a brother in Tasmania. He's one of the original Aborigines in Australia, in Tasmania. And he says, beloved Rev, you know, I can't thank you enough for explaining to me what has happened to me. There's a piece that I put into the GPT where I teach about the concept known as hot system dominance, and what happens when we're exposed to trauma for so long that trauma, as Resma Minicum, who's also programmed into this GPT, his work, his framework, starts to look like personality. It's just who Daniel is. You know, Daniel always snaps like that when you say hello to him. You know, I was like, dude, I just said hi. Who are you saying hi to? The fact that your amygdala is on constant alert and making you feel unsafe, it causes you to act up and act out and end up self-sabotaging a lot of the good that could come to you in your life. And it also causes you not to feel deserving of the good that's coming into your life. Therefore, you'll end up psychologically and completely unconsciously sabotage your best relationships, your best opportunities. Wouldn't it be nice to have an AI system designed specifically for me that can tell me that and show me that, and how to retrain my brain so that all the good that I deserve, that all the good that's out there that I can actually partake in and receive. You have to, Black men, we've got to let go of this guilt and this shame and this blame. Yeah, there are certain things we've done. We all, as they say, we all have dirt on us, but you can't get clean in a dirty situation. If you're birthed into dirt, you're going to have dirt on you. It's a matter of how do you maneuver? How do you circumvent around that? You know, I work with a lot of brothers who've gone to prison. Some brothers have gone to prison more than one time. It was like, well, I was trying to get it right, you know. So I went back. It's like
5 times.
Yeah, but real talk. I'm having all of these issues. I'm feeling this kind of way. But Rev, I don't feel deserving of happiness. Well, now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. Why? Who did that to you? What did that to you? Because you didn't come here that way. Answer the question, Danielle. When you were a little boy, and for sisters out there, when you were a little girl, did you ever go up to your mother or father or an adult that you held in high esteem and say, Mom, Dad, elder, when I grow up, I want to be a drug addict. When I grow up, I want to be a drug dealer. When I grow up, I want to go to prison. When I grow up, I want to be an alcoholic. When I grow up, I want to be strung out on meth. When I grow up, I want to be a child molester. When I grow up, I want to be incest. If those are not goals of yours, but these things have happened to you, ain't a damn thing wrong with you. Something has happened to you. And my job is to teach you and show you the true self of you and who you are and reveal that. Now you have an apparatus. The concept is known as a stepped care. So stepped care is where, like I have clients that I work with one-on-one every week, and I give them assignments on GPT using the BlackTraumaGPT that moves them forward. And after probably about, it usually takes about 3 months, because the trauma work is pretty radical and pretty upfront. It's almost instantaneous, you know, like in certain situations where you have to go for years and years and years of therapy and you're still just as messed up. No, what I want to do is I'm trying to solve the problem immediately, to let you know, here's what has happened to you. Here's how you manage and control your thinking. And now that we controlled your thinking, now we can start building. But you can't build a better life under the muck and mire of the trauma that's embedded into you, and you don't even know it's there. You don't know when it's going to come out. You don't know when you're going to self-sabotage yourself or attract somebody who is going to sabotage you. You'll be able to know that by doing this level of work.
I love that. And you brought up something that's key, which I actually just started getting into and realizing for myself. It's that reprogramming, you know, reprogramming yourself and not looking at it as a bad thing. Because for years I looked at it, I was like, no, I'm not trying to. And for me, it was like, I'm not trying to follow that pathway. I'm not trying to follow that route of what America or the world is supposed to think. And it's like, no, what you just need to be fed, because you've been fed negativity. You've been fed, you know, being product of your own environment. Shoot, the music alone has already told you, hey, black man, you only getting up to here. And we're living in a world right now, or I should say we have been living in a world right now, but now the third eye is open. We're woke. We see social media for what it is. And it's now gotten to a point where it's like, all right, the reprogramming needs to start, you know? So in whatever age somebody is at, you're a black male, it's key that the reprogramming is an acceptance rather than a push away. You know? We grew up, for those that are in our age range and above or around in between, you know, we grew up seeing the Matrix, and it's like, no, I don't want to know the whole truth. I don't want to be psyched out by what's currently going on. You know, I just want to live my happy life. But you need to understand that your mind needs to be reprogrammed so you can see that high potential. So you can see that
Absolutely.
high worth. And getting back to what you had even talked about before, that 6, 7-figure, 8-figure mindset. I just started that 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking that for myself, because I thought, man, if I retire and I'm at 6 figures, this is going to be great. No, brother, you supposed to be at 6 figures now. You were supposed to, the generation was supposed to have been living off 6 figures now. It's just the models, the policies, the contracts, if you will, of keeping people in certain positions. We're now seeing the other side of the rainbow, which is good. But at the same time, it needs to be acceptance. It needs to be acceptance.
Absolutely.
Most of you loving yourself, that acceptance, that self-care does come first, and the acceptance behind the reprogramming, you know, and it's not a bad thing. I want to be clear about that. It's not a bad thing going to BlackTraumaGPT thinking that, oh, I just have issues going on, I need an outlet, or there's nothing going on wrong with me, I'm a black male and feeling fine. It's key that folks go to your site and get started, but before they get started, love themselves. So
absolutely.
Doc,
And love yourself enough to get started. Absolutely. 100%.
there it is. So Doc,
I love it. I love that.
man, we've been going back and forth. I'm loving the gems. As we wrap it up, is there anything that you want to say to the audience before we get out of here?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a GPT developer, and so one of the things that I would love to be able to do is come back probably in February, because that's the love month and Black love. What I decided to do, because I saw so much discord between male and female relationships, I produced blacklove.com, blacklovegpt.com. And you're the first in the world to know about it. Literally, only my wife knows about it. That's it. You're the first. I just developed it. I'm still putting things in there. I don't even have a logo for the thing yet. But you'll be able to go in there and heal yourself, heal your relationship, find the person that is perfect for you, because you'll know the characteristics, traits, and behaviors, be able to analyze your own characteristics, traits, and behaviors to find out who you're compatible with, so that you'll know what you're looking for, as opposed to just going out doing a shotgun approach and getting hurt and getting more trauma and drama put on you. But to be able to have true Black love, to celebrate Black joy.
I was going to say, sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
I've experienced it, that I was always attracted to that same type of woman. And it wasn't until I started loving myself that it switched. And I already saw it. That's why I'm already excited. I know you just told me about it. We haven't talked about it before, but it already clicked in my head as that vision. I'm like, you're going to save so many relationships, because folks get into relationships either for one thing, just have fun, or two, they're meddling over trying to heal what was in their past. And I realized, like,
Right.
well, if I get in this relationship, I'll be okay, or this will at least get me through. And it's that identity crisis. It's their own self-identity.
Yes.
I'm already seeing Black Love GPT help heal that. And they can start right now by going to BlackTraumaGPT.com. I think we did enough subliminal messages if they haven't gotten it. No, I'm excited.
doubt.
And yes, please do come back in February. We can definitely get it set up. But brother, thank you so very much. If this is your first time listening, make sure you go back. You probably missed a couple of gems, but this was fantastic, brother. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Unks and Ashe. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't already, be sure to tune into the RNG Radio Show. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. And y'all already know my tagline: stay blessed, my fellow millionaires, and talk soon. Thank you for tuning in to the RNG Radio Show. Be sure to like and subscribe for more episodes and future content. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at danielumstead.com. Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires.